events just to set the tone. So we listened to Unstoppable by Sia. If you've never heard that song before, please go listen to it. It is needs to be on your playlist for 2025. If 2025 is your best year yet, you're trying to really level up in your relationships, your health, your income, your business. 2025 is the year that you're unstoppable. So if you do not have Unstoppable by Sia on your playlist, go ahead and put that on there. But we're gonna go ahead and get started. I am live streaming on YouTube. Let me just make sure. Yep, it is. And then let's mute that. Okay, so that's perfect. Everything is on there. Okay, we're on Zoom, we're on TikTok, we're on YouTube. Love it. Welcome in, everyone. Like I said, this is GPS. This is your a masterclass about your internal guidance system for success, right? So this is something that I came up with probably last week, right? The acronym and what it means and how it's actually programmed. But I want you guys to understand that your GPS is set for the life of your dreams right now, right? So my goal is to help you uncover it, help you become aware of it, expand your awareness, and then to also help you understand how it's programmed and how to program it for where you want to go, right? Because it's programmed right now to take you on the life of your dreams. But you may be one of those people who has the route that has the most turns. You may be running into traffic. You may be taking detours. Like you may not have, your GPS may not be taking you on the fastest route to your dreams, right? And that's what this masterclass is going to help you uncover, right? Is how to actually make sure you're on the route to your dreams and you're on the quickest route, okay? It's not just about getting on the road to your dreams. It's not about fulfilling your dream life. It's about getting there with the best route, as quick as possible, as permanent as possible. It's about actually making it happen, right? So the way that this live event is going to go, we're going to be there for 2 hours until noon Central Standard Time. We will have probably about an hour 15 minutes of teaching, of going over the GPS, what it means, how it's programmed, how it's been working for you your whole life. And then we will have a Q&A session. So if you have any questions, if there's anything that's not clear, I do have some questions that I got already that I'll answer. But if you have any other questions, just put them in the chat. If you're on YouTube, you can put them in the chat. If you're on TikTok, you can put them in the comments. And then if you're on Zoom, of course, you can put it in the chat. So if you are on Zoom, or if you are on YouTube or TikTok, it doesn't matter. I just want you guys to put in any questions that you have so I can answer them. And then after we have the Q&A session, we will have a session of making a decision, right? It's what I call it, like the decision-making session. Everything that I teach you today, you have to actually implement. You're going to have to take action on. So if you just listen to what I say, but you don't actually internalize it, you don't implement it, you don't move forward on it, it's not going to change your life. It's not going to give you the results that you're looking for, right? So, like I said, this is GPS. You may hear this baby in the background. He loves to talk just as his mama does. So, don't be alarmed. I may have to step away at some point to, get him right. But right now we're ready. We're going. Let's do it. So this is, hold on one second. Hold this one. And hold on one second, y'all. Let me do this. Yeah, here, take him. Your girl got some help today. Decline. No, you cannot be a co-host on my live. What's wrong with you? Crazy. All right, so let's get started. This is GPS, okay? So if you, and then make sure you put in the chat where you're calling in from, how you found this event, if it was through TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I do like to understand how you guys find me, because everybody that registered for this event, there's only one person that I'm aware of, like that I actually know. So everybody else is, you guys found me somehow, and I like to keep track of what's actually working, right? But this event is GPS, right? Your success system, your internal success, or your internal guidance system for success, right? So in the content that I've been making around this event, I've been telling you guys, and it's 1010, that's one of my angel numbers too, right? It reminds me to 10 to my mind, 10 to what I'm thinking about at that moment. When I talked about this event, right, I talked about your GPS, and I talked about how your GPS has been programmed from the time you were conceived to keep you on the life or the route to the life of your dreams, right? Your GPS, right, is your God-given purpose of service. So what does that mean? right? We are spiritual beings having human experiences, right? You are a spiritual being, you're having a human experience. You are not a human being having you are a spiritual being having a human experience, right? So that's a little bit different from saying that you're a human being, right? So when I say that you're a spiritual being, you are literally God in human form, right? You are the divine in human form, right? I and my Father are one, right? The God that lives within you, right, is always expressing himself through your human form, through the vessel that you provided for him, right? So when I say that God, or you're created in God's image, or you were created with this GPS, God gave you a purpose of service. Your GPS is your God-given purpose of service. There is a reason that you are here. There is a purpose for your existence. There is a purpose for your life. There is service that you are to provide to humanity through your purpose, right? So when it comes to your GPS, God literally programmed you so that you would stay on course to uncovering what your purpose is and providing that purpose to the world through service. Okay. I'm doing well, love. How are you? You are programmed right now to create the life of your dreams. You are programmed right now to create the life of your dreams. You're programmed to uncover your purpose and to provide a service to humanity through that purpose. Okay. So let's back up a little bit, because I didn't even really tell you guys about myself. I didn't really tell you guys about anything. I just came on here and started talking, right? So I'm M. Simone, right? I am a speaker, CEO, mother, child of God, educator, teacher, spiritual leader, manifestation coach, mentor, success life, like all of that, right? But I didn't start out that way, right? When I was, when I was younger, I wanted to have a restaurant. I wanted to have a spa. Like, there was a lot of ideas that I had as a child, right? There was a lot of avenues or a lot of routes that I could have taken, right? But I stayed on the route of teaching others how to be successful. I didn't know that when I was younger. I didn't know that that was what my purpose was or what my calling was. I just knew that when I was younger, I liked to teach people. I like to tell people how to do things, right? I like to help people get where they want to go in life, right? But it wasn't until 2020 when I actually discovered, like, this was my purpose, right? My calling was to teach other people how to be successful. Okay. Now, last year, 2024, was the most transformative year of my life. I gave birth, so I became a mom literally almost a week ago. Last year, I ended a significant relationship. I moved back in with my parents. I fully stepped into entrepreneurship. I got back with God. Like, there was a lot of transformation in 2024 for me, right? But one of the things that I uncovered, right, was that my purpose and my passion is speaking. Right. So I actually had my niece and my sister, they came over one day and we were cooking or doing something. And my niece she asked me what I was passionate about. Like, what are you passionate about? And she's 8, right? But she's already on, her GPS is already working, right? But she asked me, like, what are you passionate about? And I thought for like maybe a second, and I said, I'm passionate about speaking. I'm passionate about talking. And they were like, oh yeah, 100%. I could definitely see that. Right. So I said all that to say, right, when I was younger, that is what I got in trouble for the most. I got in trouble for speaking. I got in trouble for talking out of turn. Ever since I went to daycare up until 11th grade, like, I was known as the talkative child. I was always talking, always trying to tell people what's up, always trying to tell people about their GPS, right? But I was reprimanded for it, right? Or it was not seen as a superpower back then. I said all that to say, right? Over the lifetime, the 27 years of my life, I have been uncovering my purpose of service. I have been moving forward, not knowing that my GPS is working for me. And I have just been taking chances, making decisions, hoping that everything works out. So this event is for you guys to understand that everything is working out. It has been working out. The very fact that you are on this event, that life has put all of the synchronicities together for you to be on this event, is proof that your GPS is working. Okay. So a lot of people ask me, though, like, how do you figure out what your purpose is? And this is a part of what we'll talk about in this event, because a lot of us are using our GPS unconsciously. We don't know that our GPS is working for us. We don't know what our purpose is. We don't know what service we're supposed to be providing. We're listening to the outside world. Of course, the outside world is telling you, well, go get a job, right? Go, work at that job for 40 years, go get you a pension, go get you a 401k, maybe buy a house, have a couple kids, stay out of debt, and just coast through life. That's not what this is about. The people that are on this event, that are listening to the replay, that are engaged in what I'm talking about, you're not the one that's supposed to be living that life. That's supposed to just be working a job that's unfulfilling. That's not supposed to have any money. That's not supposed to be traveling the world. That's stressed out. That doesn't have time to rest and relax. That's not how God programmed you. When God created you in his image, he created you with the idea that you were going to uncover your purpose. You were going to provide service to humanity through that purpose, and he was going to generously compensate you. Oh, thank you, love. 1,000 likes. We love it. That is what you were programmed for. That is what God had in mind for you. God did not create you in his image for you to struggle. God did not create you in his image for you to be unfulfilled, for you to be unsatisfied, for you to be working a job that is not moving you forward in some way. Right? That's not what God intended for you. So he created this GPS, he created your internal guidance system so that no matter how many wrong turns you take, you are always going to be brought back on the route to your dreams. Okay. So I want you guys to think about the actual GPS. So you say my purpose is what I'm doing now. I don't know what your purpose is, love. That's a conversation that you have to have with God. And we'll talk about a little bit more of that closer to about the middle of this event, like how you actually find your purpose, how you actually uncover that, because I can't tell you what your purpose is. Only you and God know what your purpose is, right? Only you and God know what it is, how you're supposed to be providing service to humanity, right? So, yeah, and it could be the products that you're selling. It could be, the business that you're in right now, but it's also possible that it could be something totally different, right? So this event will give you a little bit of insight as to how actually to uncover that. But your GPS, just like the GPS in your phone, when you open that app, when you go to the Apple Maps, you go to Google Maps, right? It wants to know two things. First, it wants to know where you are, and it wants to know where you want to go. Okay. The GPS that you are programmed with, that God created you with, it already knows where you want to go. Where you want to go is the life of your dreams. Now, what does that look like for you? It's going to be different for everybody, right? The life of my dreams looks very different from the life of your dreams, right? The life of your dreams looks very different from the person down the street from you. But God programmed you, right? He already put in the destination into your GPS. The destination, the life of your dreams, is programmed in your GPS. Okay. The other thing that you need to know when you're using your GPS is where you are currently. This is the piece that people like to skip over. This is the piece that a lot of manifestation coaches and programs skip over. They skip over the self-awareness piece. They skip over the where I am today. I cannot get you on the road to your dreams. God cannot get you on the road to your dreams. Nothing can get you where you need to go if you don't know where you are currently. This is so, so important, guys, because your GPS has to have a my location, where you want to go, and it needs to know which route you want to take. But we are the knowing where you are currently, or knowing where you are currently, the my location, right? That piece is the self-awareness. Who do I believe I am today? Do I know that I'm a spiritual being having a human experience? Do I know that God programmed me to live the life of my dreams? Do I believe that God wants me to be rich, wants me to be successful, wants me to be happy? Like, what is it? How do you see yourself today? Because you cannot get on the road or stay on the road or uncover your GPS and use it properly if you don't know how you're programmed today, right? So we'll talk a little bit about that in this event, right? How you're programmed and how you're going to determine that. But that is a very crucial and important step that a lot of people skip over. Okay. So you need to know where you are currently, my location. God has already programmed the destination for you, right? You and God actually programmed that destination together, whether you know you did or not. And this is why I have this event. And this is why this GPS is so important. Thank you for sharing the event, love, or sharing the live. I appreciate you. This is why this event is so important, right? Because you get to decide what the destination is. So when I say that God has programmed you to get to the life of your dreams, God has set you up, has set up your internal guidance system so that it will take you to whatever your dream life is, but you have to decide that. God doesn't decide what your dream life is. He does on a overarching scale, right? He says that your dream life is prosperity, all the money that you need to be successful, happy, to travel, to live your life without stress, with ease, with gratitude, with joy, right? He wants you to have successful relationships. He wants you to be around people, his children. He wants you to procreate with his children. He wants you to partner with his children. He wants you to have friends that are his children, right? That are conscious, let me say, of being his children, because we are all God's children. But if you don't know that, you're not going to operate that way. Right now that I fully have come back into being one with God, I operate a totally different. I don't act the same way. I don't have the same people around me. I don't listen to the same people. I don't listen to the same music. Like I told you guys at the beginning of this event, we listened to a song called Unstoppable by Sia. If you have not heard that song, please put it on your playlist. I didn't have that song in my playlist 2 months ago. Okay, but now that I'm fully stepping into the God that the person that God wants me to be, I'm getting these like this new music, these new detours. So I'm listening to Unstoppable. I'm listening to Self Love. I'm listening to the God in me. Like all of these, like little advancements, right? Little nudges that God is putting in front of me. I'm taking heed of them. I'm actually putting them into practice. But if you're not listening to God, right? If you've been so detached from him, which a lot of us are, a lot of us are attached to material things. A lot of us are attached to the money we get from our job. A lot of us are attached to all of these outside material things. And one thing that I know for sure, if I don't know anything else, based on 2024, God does not like, and God does not stand for anybody putting anything above him. When you give power to money, material things, houses, cars, clothes, all this outside stuff, God is going to strip you of everything you believe has power just to show you where the real power is. Okay? I'm speaking from experience. I'm talking to you guys from experience. I had a child. I left a relationship. I lost my apartment. I had to sell my car. I moved back in with my parents. Like I got to rock bottom. No money in my account. Negative. Like I was at the bottom of the rock. Like the rock is here. I was under the rock. I'm like, God, I can't, there's how much more are you going to take from me? Right. But in that process, in the year of me being stripped of all the material possessions that I had, God reminded me of who actually supplied those material blessings, who actually gave me everything that I had. Okay. So when it comes to your GPS, the destination is up to you. But the key is to make sure that God is at the forefront of your destination. It is not evil to want money. It's not evil to want better relationships. It's not evil to want more. It is actually the God in you speaking through you. If God is all powerful and God is everything there is, why would God want to be in a cramped apartment? Why would God want to be driving a car that's 20 years old? Why would God want to be at a job that's unfulfilling? Why would God be in relationships with people to treat him like shit? God wouldn't do that. That's not how God operates. But God gave us the free will to choose. God gave us the free will to say, I want that partner. I want that job. I'm deserving of this. God gave us that ability. But he wants us to have it all. He's programmed us. And that's why you guys are on this event. If you're listening to what I'm telling you right now, it's because God, the God in you, told you to get onto this event. It's not happenstance. It's not just, oh, I don't know how I got here. No, God has been nudging you and leading you this whole time. And if this is your first time interacting with me, like I know a lot of you, some of you just followed me, and I'll follow you back, of course. But if this is your first time interacting with me, it's not coincidence that all of a sudden your algorithm has you on my TikTok or has you on my Zoom or has you on my YouTube. I've been on social media for damn near 5 years at this point. Like this is not, I'm not new to this, I'm true to this, right? So why are you now coming in contact with me? Right? Because there is something in you, the God in you wants more, right? God is always for expansion. Anytime you are dissatisfied with your life, anytime you're dissatisfied with the route you're taking or the turns you're taking or how your GPS is set up, it's God saying, there is more for us. I want more. You want more. Let's make it happen. But God can only operate through the channel we give him. What do I mean by that? Whatever you ask for, whatever form you give God is the form that he is going to flow through. What does that mean, right? What is the difference between a $400,000 house and a $4 million house? What's the difference between those, right? Do you think God's up there like, ooh, $4 million? That's a lot, M. Simone. I don't know if I could do that. No. God is going to provide one for you as readily as he will provide the other. There is no big or small to God. We make things big or small. Oh, a $4 million house. Oh, no, that's way too much. We say that, and God operates based on how we operate. Right? So the form that you give God to operate through is the capacity through which he's going to operate. So when it comes to your GPS, when it comes to this programming that you have, right, you have been, since you were conceived, right? God has put all of these pieces together for you to come to this exact moment, for you to be here in time, right? Where you could be anywhere, you could have been doing anything, but you're here on this live event. Right. And that's why I said that the GPS, your God-given purpose of service, has brought you here and is always working for you. I talked about the movie Moana. I don't know if you guys have seen this movie. I saw it last year, probably about 3 months ago. It is a phenomenal movie. One that I would recommend. Inside Out 2 and Moana. Okay. Well, Inside Out, the first one is phenomenal too. Right. But in the movie Moana, it's a beautiful depiction of what it is that we're talking about. Moana was programmed from the time she was born to be the one to save her people. It didn't matter how many times her father told her, we do not sail the ocean. We do not leave. We have everything we need. It doesn't matter how many times that song, they sang those songs about the coconuts and the leaves, and we have everything we need. It doesn't matter how many times they sang those songs. It doesn't matter how many times they tried to take Moana off of her journey. The ocean chose her. God chose her. God chose you. You are the one that's going to change your family's lineage. Everybody so far has been following the status quo. We're not following what everybody else is doing anymore. God is telling you right now, stop following what everybody else is doing. You don't even want the results that they have. Why are you following these people? I understand they're your family. I understand you have access to them. But if they don't have the results that you want, why are you following them? Why are you following a pattern that you clearly see? You can clearly see how this pattern works. You can clearly see how your family operates. So just because you have people around you telling you, trying to tell you what you should be doing, God knows best. You are God in human form. Whether you believe it or not, you know right now what to do. You know instinctively, intuitively, and subconsciously the next route you can take. You know it. You know it. You know it because you are literally God in human form. But we've been so conditioned by the outside world to not listen to ourselves, to listen to outside advice. Your intuition, that's God speaking to you. But what do? We ask other people. Your intuition is telling you, get on this live event and move forward with M. Simone. What do? You get off this live event, you go ask 5 people what they think you should do. These people are not in a position to be giving you advice. They don't have the results you want to have. They're literally in the same position you are. Why would you be taking advice from them? Right? God already told you what to do. God told you what to do. You know what you want to do, but the fear, right, of the unknown is keeping you back. Your GPS, when you put in the destination, I've driven from Atlanta to Texas many times. It's a 12-hour drive. Okay. My GPS, when I put in, Houston, Texas from Atlanta, Georgia, I want to take the shortest route possible. It's going to get me on the fastest route there. Okay. But I can't see everything that's ahead of me. I can only see a couple feet ahead. Like on your phone, it's only going to show you a couple feet ahead. And as far as the more that you go, the more that you drive, the more that you journey, it will give you more to see, right? But we as humans, right, as spiritual beings having human experiences, we've been programmed to, I need to know how. I need to know how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen. I need to know where the resources are going to come from. I need to know everything. No, you don't. You don't. Your human mind wants to know. Your spiritual mind knows already what to do, right? But we have we've been programmed to look outside of ourselves for the answer. right? We've been programmed to dismiss what we know to be true inside and to listen to what the outside world is telling us. There's a reason that there's only 3% of the 3% of the population that's controlling 97% of the income. How's that possible? How is it possible that 97% of all of God's money is being controlled by 3% of the population? It's not because they're smarter. It's not because they have better education. It's not because they know somebody. It's not because of any of these outside. It's not because they're hoarding money. It's not because of any of that, right? It's because that they have one of two things. They have either consciously aligned their mind, body, and spirit with God and are operating from the belief or from the knowledge that the service they provide, they get compensated for it. Or they're unconsciously providing service and they're being compensated for it. But it's not because they're hoarding the money. It's not because they're smarter than you. It's not because of any of that. The God that's in me is the same God that's in you. It's the same God that's in my son. It's the same God that's in your son. It's the same God that's in it's the God that's in me is the same God that's in you. The only difference is the form through which we give God the avenue to express himself. Right? Me wanting a $20 million home, God has a lot more to express himself with me wanting a $100,000 home. There's no right or wrong. If you want a $100,000 house, perfect. I want you to have whatever you want. But I do want you to understand that God wants you to have it all. It's not evil. You're not taking from anybody else. You're not going against God by wanting more. God is life, and life always wants to express himself. Always. It doesn't matter what goes on outside, the grass is going to grow. It might be winter, it might be down, it might be brown, it might not be growing as fast, but you can bet your bottom dollar that in the spring, that grass is going to continue to grow. Life is always looking for ways to express itself. Okay. So hold on one second, y'all. Let me see. Like we get back together. Okay, hold on. And we've been doing this all year, and it's like we get back together somehow. Okay, so let me actually pause real quick for this event and speak on this. So when it comes to, it says Tessie says that, she went no contact with her ex, and they've been doing this all year, and then they're like getting back together, right? Or they get back together somehow. What I want you to understand is that is, like I said, your GPS is always working for you. Right? Your GPS is telling you, why is it that you keep coming back to this person? What do you believe is true about yourself? Do you believe that you deserve somebody who's narcissistic? Do you believe that you deserve somebody who treats you the way that they treat you? Do you believe that that's what you're worth? Do you think that the God in you would stand for that? If God was standing in front of you right now, would God take that? Would God be in a relationship with somebody who does not treat them like the queen or king that they are? No. Right. But again, we have free will to choose. We have the ability to take whatever route we want to take. God is telling you, hey, baby, I have 7 billion people out here for you. I got 7 billion. I actually have you programmed to get to your dream person. But I gave you free will to choose. So you get to choose if you want to take a detour. You get to choose if you want to take another route. God is always going to bring you back on course. The GPS in your phone, it don't matter how many times you stop. It don't matter how many wrong turns you take. It does not matter how many times you detour. What does it say? Rerouting, rerouting, rerouting. It's always going to reroute you back to where you're programmed to be. But we have the ability to choose. We get to choose what route we want to take. When your GPS pulls up and it says, oh, there's a 6 minutes faster route, right? ETA 6 minutes faster. Do you want to take it? You have to choose it. God is going to give you the avenue. He gave you this event. You have to choose to do something with this event once it's over. He's going to give you the route. He's going to give you the shortcut, but you get to choose. And that's the beauty of it. We get to decide. We get to decide what we're worth. We get to decide what we want. And when we decide it wholeheartedly and we start to move forward with it, God says, oh, she's serious. Oh, he's serious. Oh, they're serious. You truly believe that you deserve this. You truly know you deserve this. And let me show up to show you that you do. Because I'm the big God. Like I'm not the little one, baby. I make everything happen. I bring the motion to everything. Right. So even when it comes to relationships, right? Even when it comes to money, when it comes to your business, when it comes to your career, your family, your personal health, your mental health, all of it, God has programmed us to find the best life for us. But we get to choose how long it's going to take. We get to choose how many detours we take. We get to choose that. If you think you see a shortcut, you get to choose that. If you think you see a faster way to go, you get to choose it, right? But you are his child. He will never forsake you. He will never leave you. He will never turn your GPS off. It's always going to be on, baby. It don't matter how many wrong turns you take. It doesn't matter how many times you step away from the route and the purpose of your life. God is always going to bring you back on course. I have wanted to have so many different businesses throughout my whole lifetime. I've been an entrepreneur. I went back to work. I tried to do both. God said, look, either you're going to be an entrepreneur, you're going to serve my people, you are going to teach my word, or you're going to go find one of these unfulfilling jobs, but you're not going to do both anymore. We're not doing both. You're going to pick one. This is what God told me. He said this. You're going to pick one, right? And you know which one you should pick. You know instinctively. Just like all of the entrepreneurs who aren't ready to jump out, they're like, well, let me get all these things together first. Let me wait a year. Let me do this. What are you waiting on? You think you got time? You think you think you just got all the time in the world? And there's two ways to look at that. Yes, you have time. You have time, right? You don't have to have it all figured out right now. You don't have to squeeze 10 years of your life into a year. You have time. The other caveat to that is you could be gone tomorrow, baby. Not everybody woke up today. Not everybody woke up. I need you to hear me. Not everybody woke up. Some people did not wake up. God took them back. God took some of his children back last night and you woke up. Why is that? Why is it that you woke up? He could have took you too. So when I say that you have time, yes, you have time. There's no need to rush. You want to enjoy the time. You want to enjoy that route. When I used to drive to Texas that 12 hours, I needed to enjoy it because it will feel like forever. It seems like it's not happening. Like I feel like I've been driving for 7 hours. I'm nowhere near my destination. That's how it's going to feel. But if you can find the beauty in the fact that you are even awake to actually put your life into practice, like to make your dreams come true, right? You will be able to enjoy the journey so much more, right? But I do want you guys to remember it is a journey and you have to take the steps. You have to make the action. Your GPS can't take you to your dreams if you don't start. You have to start. If 2025 is an indication of anything, let it be an indication for you to start. Start that business, start that relationship with yourself. I don't even care about your relationship with others. Let's put that to the side right now. I'm talking about your relationship with yourself. That GPS, your God-given purpose of service, the way that you're going to determine what your purpose is, because again, God gives you the free will to choose. The way that you're going to figure out what your purpose of service is by developing the relationship with yourself. My word for this year is God self, one word, love. Like self-love, but I'm talking about the God self-love. I ain't talking about just regular human self. I'm talking about God self, right? But that starts with me understanding who I am. That starts with me spending time with God, meditating in silence by myself, taking awareness walks. A lot of us don't like to be with ourselves. A lot of us don't like to be with ourselves. A lot of us are very uncomfortable being alone. A lot of us do. A lot of us love noise. We love people. We love things. We like to do stuff. We like to be stimulated by the outside because we don't want to sit with ourselves. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. Now, I'm an only child, so I've been with myself my whole life. I'm pretty used to it. But for other people, it's uncomfortable to be by yourself. You want to be with other people. You want to have noise. You want to have things going. Like, no, you need to sit in silence and listen to what comes up because God always speaks to you, baby. You're just not listening. You're just not tuned in. You know how I don't know if y'all use your radios in your cars. I don't use my radio. Well, I don't have a car anymore, but I didn't use my radio back then, like for a while, right? But your radio has a certain frequency. There's a certain station that plays the music. Girl, you and me both, baby. I sold mine so that I could become a millionaire. Sure did. And I'm working on it. But no, that's how committed I am to what God has told me to do. That I sold my only transportation to invest in mentorship for myself. Huh? So you think that, yeah, I wholeheartedly believe in my calling. I wholeheartedly believe in my purpose because yeah, a vehicle, that's pretty important. But my purpose, being able to teach other people how to get back to God, stay with him and to build their life with him in the forefront, that's so much more valuable than a vehicle. But back to the vehicle, right? In your car, you have a radio. And if you turn your dial to a certain station, you will hear the music, right? You are tuned into that frequency. If you turn it just a little bit, like a hair, you are no longer tuned in. Okay? God works the exact same way. God is always speaking to you, always. But if you're not tuned in, if you're tuned into the wrong station, if you're tuned into what other people are telling you to do and not tuned into what God is telling you to do, you're not going to hear him. Okay? And it's total tailor made for me. Okay, hold on. Because we're the only one in here and I'm hearing God speak. Hearing God, I'm trying to tell you, like he will speak to you. He will speak to you. He's speaking to you right now. But we're so caught up in the outside world, right? We're so caught up in the music, what we hear, what people are saying, what's going on social media. God is always speaking to you. He is always speaking to you through other people. Me right now, Maya M. Simone is not speaking to you. M. Simone is not speaking to you. I'm the representative. M. Simone is the representative. The big God is who's speaking to you. God is speaking to you through me. And you are speaking, or God is speaking through you to me. That's how it works, right? But we have to know that. We have to be aware of that. That's how you, like, and this is the thing too. This is another part, and I'm not going to get too deep into this. I do believe that God speaks to us through everybody. I believe that God is speaking through me right now to you. One thing that I do believe though, is I do believe that God also gave us discernment. Everything that I say may not be for you. Everything that other people say may not be for you, but you have to have the discernment and the ability to pick out what God is trying to tell you. People tell me things all the time. Do I listen to everything that people say? Absolutely not. But I do hear what they say and I figure out what God is trying to tell me because God speaks to me through all people. I made a decision recently that was very, very, very significant. And God had his people come talk to me. And a lot of what they're saying, I didn't listen to, but there were some very key points that I said, okay, I hear you. I hear you. That's what God wanted me to take from this conversation. God wanted me to take that piece from what you're saying, not everything. Okay. But we have to have the discernment and we have to believe that we have that power. God is literally living through us. Hi, Jess. How are you, love? Welcome in. God is literally living through us. Every day that we wake up, our GPS is programmed to get us to the route to our dreams. Every day we wake up, our GPS is sitting there like, I'm waiting. Thank you so much for the roses, love. Y'all know I love gifts. Don't be doing that. But your GPS is programmed to get you to the life of your dreams. When I woke up this morning, my GPS was already ready. It was already set to teach this material, to speak the word of God through what I'm teaching you guys, and to move people forward into what God has actually called them to be or called them to do. That's what it was. But I could have chosen differently. I could have said, you know what? I only had 15 people sign up for this event. I'm not going to do it. That's not enough. Huh? I could have not woken up. Let's talk about that again. God could have took my soul last night and you guys would not be here to hear me speak. I would not be here to speak to you. I would not be here to give you the word of God. So my presence, the fact that we have all even just come together to be on this event together is a testament of God's power and of how your GPS works. Okay. So any questions so far? Right. I want you guys to remember, just like in Moana, and I talked about Moana on my live or on my video yesterday, I want you guys to remember how her life worked. I want you to remember how it actually operated in that movie. They told her the story of her people. She was intrigued by that story. She then went out. The ocean literally chose her. God chose her. God chose her and said, you're going to be the one to restore the heart of Te Fiti, and you're going to be the one to save your people. Okay. She had that in the back of her mind, in her GPS, her whole life. Her parents, her family, the village, everybody talking about, we don't go beyond the reef, girl. We don't sail the ocean. Sit still, pipe down, shot. You doing a little bit too much, big dog. You doing a little bit too much. Moana said, the ocean chose me. What are y'all talking about? God chose me. I'm not listening to y'all. Y'all been stuck on this island for 1,000 years. I'm not listening to y'all. I'm listening to God. God said, sail the ocean, Moana. Give Tefiti her heart back and restore your people. That's what he told her to do. You think that do you believe that the people outside of Moana know better than God? The people outside of Moana was like, nah, don't do that. It's dangerous. Moana said, I'm gonna get in this boat. I am Moana. You gonna come with me, Maui. We gonna restore this heart and we gonna save our people. This girl had, I don't want to say balls, but she had balls. She had the big God. That's what she had. She had God telling her what to do. And she didn't listen to the small mindedness of other people. She didn't listen to what other people told her. She listened to the calling of her GPS, of her God-given purpose of service. Moana's God-given purpose was to restore the heart of Tefiti for her people. That was her purpose. That was the service that she was to provide for humanity. You have a service that you're going to provide to humanity through your purpose. I'm passionate about talking. I'm passionate about food. I'm passionate about success. I'm passionate about a lot of things, right? But the one thing that I'm most passionate about is teaching people how to be successful, teaching people how to live their life with God at the forefront and actually claim the inheritance that He has for us. He has an inheritance for every single one of us. And I want you guys to think about this analogy. I normally give you guys the pie analogy, but I heard this analogy about the ocean the other day, and I really like this, right? So we're all standing at the ocean. Okay, let's say it's 30 of us standing at the ocean, right? And we all have a cup. Now, it's our cup. We chose the cup. Let me be clear. We chose the cup. So some of us have a glass like this. Some of us got a big bowl. Some of us have a freaking boat. Some of us have a very large cup to fill. Okay. And when we go to the ocean and we fill our cup, we're not taking from anyone else. Shocker. It doesn't matter how much we take from the ocean. It doesn't matter how many cups I fill up. I am not taking from anybody else. My prosperity takes from no one else. Why am I saying this? You want to be a millionaire? You wanting to be a millionaire, you wanting to be successful, you wanting to have 5 cars, you wanting to have these houses, this successful business, $100 million, and all of these things that you want. One is God wanting it through you, but 2, you are not taking from anybody else when you get them. God is all, God is infinite. You cannot take from somebody else. When you take from the ocean of life, you are taking for you. You're not taking from anybody else. It's just like the infinity pie. There's a pie. It's an infinity pie. It's got an infinite number of slices. And everybody has a slice. There's a slice that has Jess's name on it. There's a slice that has Sadia's name on it. There's a slice that has M. Simone's name on it. There's a slice that has Tessie's name on it. There is a slice of infinity with your name on it. It's got your birthday, where you were born, all that. Nobody can take your slice. Nobody can take your slice. Nobody can take your slice. Nobody can take the slice of infinity that's meant for you. It's for you. Nobody else can take it. Okay, hold on. Can you get God to change that smoke alarm in the battery? LOL. Nope, I'm going to have to do that. Free will to choose. Free will to choose. Don't do that. Let her preacher leave. A girl, baby. Look, Tessie, you might have just ran into me, but I ain't a back downer, baby. The big God put this on my heart. But that's not how the economy works. LMAO. There's not an infinity number of dollars. Hey, whatever you believe to be true, baby, that's your belief. I'm not here to tell y'all what to believe. I'm here to inspire you to create new beliefs. That's it. So I'm gonna let you have that. Baby girl said that's not how the economy works. There's not an infinity number of dollars. You got it. That's your reality. You go with that. That's what we talk about. So there is a way for you to uncover your GPS. What is it? What is your God-given purpose of service, right? What is it that you're actually here for? What do you like to do? What are you passionate about? What lights you up in the morning, right? What gives you the energy to keep going, right? What is your passion? What are you passionate about? Like I said, I love speaking. I love talking. They've been telling me my whole life to stop talking. And that's why I keep doing it. They've been telling me since I got to daycare. She talks so much. We had to put her in timeout because she wouldn't stop talking. Up until 11th grade, baby, my mom got emails about me talking. And now I get paid to talk for a living, right? So I want you guys to understand that even though right now, maybe right now you don't know what your purpose is. You don't know what your passion is, right? You are programmed to find it. If you can hold on to that belief, if you can hold on to the knowledge that my purpose is within me. God knows my purpose. God is revealing my purpose to me. I am listening to God speak to me. Your purpose will be revealed to you. Like I said, I probably secured my purpose, like knew 100% this is my purpose last year. But I've been working on uncovering this purpose for 4 years now. I knew I wanted to teach. I knew I wanted to teach people how to be successful. This is what I've been called to do. But for me to actually say speaking is my passion, that's what my purpose is to speak the word of God. That's something that just came to me last year. So give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace. I know it's hard. Let's talk about it for a second. I know it's difficult. I know it feels like everybody knows what they're doing. I know it feels like you're not getting ahead. I know it feels like I had somebody tell me that they feel like God ignores them. They don't even feel like God answers their prayers. Let me just say, God answers every prayer. He might not answer it when you want it, but he answers every prayer. He cannot ignore you. He can't ignore you. God answers every single prayer. He is impersonal. He doesn't answer one man's prayer and not answer another. It don't work like that. God answers everybody's prayer. The issue is you praying for what you don't want. Oh, I can't afford to pay my bills. Prayer delivered. I never have anything I need. Prayer delivered. The men that I date treat me like shit. Prayer delivered. He answers the prayers, baby. How are you praying? What are you praying for? What are you asking for? How is your GPS program? Are you listening to the GPS? Are you taking different routes? What are you doing? He answers every prayer. What are you asking for? When you look at your bank account and you say you have no money, that's the prayer that you're asking for. And God answers every single prayer. So you have to act for God to react. God put that GPS in you. He has it programmed. It's going to take you to the life of your dreams, but you have to press start. You have to say, let's go. God can't move you. You have to move, and then he keeps the current going. But you got to make the first move, baby. You have to move first. You got to take the chance. God is never going to leave you. He is within you. Y'all are soulmates. I say this all the time. You and God are soulmates. Soulmates. You've been looking for I want to find my soulmate. You already have it, baby. You've already found your soulmate. God is your soulmate. You and God cannot be separated. I and my Father are one. Be still and know that I am God. You are God in human form. God is formless, and we give him form through our human vessel. Okay? But he answers every single prayer. What are you praying for? How do you have your GPS programmed? Right? Did you decide you wanted to take the route with tolls? And now you're trying to figure out how to get around it? Did you decide you wanted to take the fastest route and now you're going too fast? You don't know what direction you're supposed to be going in? Like, you have to take responsibility. Your GPS is programmed, it's there, but you have to take responsibility for it. You have to take responsibility for your life. God will give you whatever you ask for, but you got to ask. You asked for that Toyota that you didn't really want instead of asking for the Maserati that you actually want. God is going to give you one as readily as he gives the other, but it's about what you're asking for. It's about your capacity to receive. Are you open to receive what you're asking for? I had somebody recently, they went on a date with this guy and they had a great time, right? And the guy actually was like, hey, I would love to get your gas. I would love to, pay for, your transportation here. She was like, oh, no, don't worry about it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Excuse me. Are you open to receive? Are you asking? Like, what is it that what is it that's going on here? What is it that's going on here? What is it that's going on here? I got you, big girl. I got you, Tessie. Thank you, baby, for staying in the chat. I got you, babe. I got you. But yeah, like, what is it? You and yeah, I know I done lost my train of thought. What was I about to say? Oh, yeah. So she, the dude was like, hey, I want to give you the gas money. She was like, oh no, don't worry about it. Are you open to receive? Because you good. You good. It wasn't you. It was actually me trying to actually do what you was telling me to do. That's what threw me off. But no, are you open to receive? Because you're asking God for $1 million house. You're asking God for these clients. You're asking God for all of these things. But when somebody offers you something, you're denying it. Oh no. No, thank you. Huh? Baby, which one is it? And that's the other thing too. Your GPS is programmed. You have you get to choose what route you take, right? But it's up to you. If you ask God for more, but then you deny the more that's coming for you, you don't really want that. God, I want more money in my experience. Somebody tries to give you some money, you say no. What? What is it? Do you want the business to flourish or not? Do you want the money or not? Do you want more in your experience or not? Because you're saying one thing, but your actions are saying otherwise. And God listens to what you do. God listens to who you are. So if you're saying you want more, you're open to receive, but somebody offers you something and you deny the goodness that you just asked God for, you can't say that he doesn't answer your prayers, because the way that you do one thing is the way that you do everything. The way that you do one thing is the way that you do everything. So if you're asking God, oh, I want more money to come through my business, but then you're telling somebody on the back end that you don't want them to give you any money, then you don't want more money in your business. You don't. You actually don't want that. That's not what you want, because you would have accepted it, right? And if somebody is offering to give you something, accept it and use it. If they're offering to give you something that you don't want or need, accept it and pass it forward. Pay it forward. My great aunt gave me a whole lot of stuff. It was just a whole lot of stuff. I didn't need any of that stuff. You know what I did? I gave it to other people. I didn't deny her the opportunity to give me something, and I didn't deny myself the opportunity to accept it. But I did take what she gave me and I circulated it. I moved it forward, right? Okay, hold on one second. I know that's right. I need in one summer. Yes, Tessie, let's do it. That's why I don't understand when I ask God, then my answer comes along or not. Okay, so look. So, but again, remember, Tessie, you have free will. You have free will to choose. And this is the thing that I want you to maybe with the wording, right? There's some things about your ex that you like. And this is a little bit of a detour, but it is still on course for what we're talking about. See them detours and them on course. So your ex, there's something about your ex that you like, right? There's something that your ex is doing that you like, right? But there's a good bit of things that he does that you do not like, that are not serving you, right? So what I would suggest that you do is that you understand, or you determine what it is you like about your ex, what things you also want in a partner, and then you ask God for that. And when your ex comes back, you have to remember what you just asked for, because you asked God to be open to receive, but you were about to accept something that's not for you. So this is what I want, God. This is what I'm going for. But when your ex pops back up, you have to choose. When your ex pops up on that GPS, you have to choose to keep going forward. You have to choose to take a different turn. You have to choose not to go back there. God is going to provide you with the lesson until you learn it. God's going to provide you with that same route until you learn it. But you have to choose. You have to know. Like, well, we talked about this earlier, Tessie. You think God, if God was standing in front of you right now, he would accept your ex as his life partner? Hell no. You told me yourself. You said absolutely not. So why are you still choosing him? God wouldn't choose him. You know God would. You don't even want to. You keep calling him your ex. He keep coming back. Y'all keep. Okay. So, and this is the relationships are a really big piece. So there's 6 pillars that I typically work with: relationships, self, spirituality, health, business, and I'm missing one, self, right? But the relationships are very important. And that's why I said that the relationship you build with yourself and you build with God is going to set the precedent for everything else. But yes, baby, God, you know, God ain't, look, I left my son's father in June of this year. I was a stay-at-home mom, left, had no job. My business wasn't really doing that well, had to move back in with my parents. I could have stayed in that relationship for the security, for the things that he did do. But would God have done that? Hell no. God said, I want the best. I want the best. I want the best car. I want the best business. I want the best clients. I want the best health. I want the best food. I want the best environment. I want the best travel. God wants the best. He wants the best for you. But again, you get to choose what you get. You get to choose the best, or you get to choose whatever's in the middle. Okay. So any questions? I do have some questions that I got from social media, right? A few questions that people ask me, but do you guys have any questions? Is there anything that, let me plug up my computer for it, slow it down me, or do you guys have any questions? It will make or break you. Like, you get to choose. You get to choose what the best is. You get to choose what type of life you want to have. Yes, it's going to come with some decisions. It's going to come with some sacrifices. Me selling my car, a sacrifice. Me living with my parents so that I could get my shit together, a sacrifice. I've been Miss Independent since Miss Independent was Miss Independent. Okay. I got my car at 16 when I got a job, had my own money, bought my house at 22, graduated college in 3 years, and was gone, ready. But again, all those things that I just mentioned, outside, material things. God said, hold on 1 second for me. You're giving those things a little bit too much power. You're giving that house you got a little bit too much power. That money you got a little bit too much power. That car you got, you're giving a little bit too much power to that. So let me strip all that. Let me take all that back, put it back in my repertoire, in my arsenal, and let's get you back to center. Let's get you back to me, right? And that's what 2024 was about. It's about my GPS rerouting me, right, to God's path for me. Yeah, I was on the path, but I wasn't as secure on that path, right? I still was giving so much to material things. But God is all. God is your source of supply. If no one has told you this, your job is not your source of supply. Your business is not your source of supply. Your parents, the government, Social Security, that's not your source of supply. God is your source of supply. Everything is the middleman. Your job, middleman. Your business, middleman. However you get your money, middleman. God is the source. God is the supply. Your money does not come from your business. It comes through your business. Very different. Your prosperity does not come from your job. It comes through your job. If you decide that you don't want to have a job anymore, you want to be an entrepreneur, your prosperity will come through whatever avenue you choose. Okay. All right. Any questions? And like I said, I do have some questions. So we'll just kind of go through the chat real quick here, see what Tessie is talking about. What she said. Let me get right here. It will, girl. I'm trying to tell you. You're so right. I'm willing to move forward, and we definitely need to link up. Absolutely. And we'll talk about, ways to move forward and all of that here shortly. But yes, like, you're already following me on socials. I'm going to be following you on socials. 2025 is up. If your GPS is already programmed, let's actually make this shit happen. Like, I'm not playing any more games. I'm not playing any more games. God told me what to do, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to follow his command. I took a live for the first time because I got my story. Yes. And that's the thing. Your GPS, everything that you've been through, everything that I have gone through my whole life has brought me to this very moment to be able to tell my story, to be able to tell you guys how I got from point A to point B. If you would have asked me 12 months ago, right, about what I wanted to do, who I believed I was, I would have gave you a whole list of nonsense. Your girl used to have an attitude, bad attitude. Really didn't care what nobody had to say, didn't want to listen to nobody, very much so disrespectful. Very much so, like, I don't care about nothing you're talking about, right? And when I got pregnant, that's what really shifted that for me. Because, baby, I really didn't give a fuck. No cares. I don't care. I actually do not care, right? But God told me when I found out I was pregnant, God said, look, you are now carrying life. You want your child to be like you? And that was a wake-up call. Because no, I didn't even like my attitude. Why would I want to deal? No, no. And I want my son to be emotionally available. I turned my emotions off when I was like 15 or 16. Talk about GPS. I turned it off. I said, I don't care about nothing. Turn it off. Shut it down. And I was very disconnected from source. And it felt that way. I felt alone. I felt sad. I felt anxious. Like it was like I was separated from God. And I want you to know that you can never be separated from God. You and God are one. Y'all are soulmates. You can never be separated. That's what I'm saying. 2020 was the year for me. That was the year where I woke up the first time that I had my awakening, right? Where my GPS was like, hey, excuse me, hello, wake up, what are you doing? Like life is passing us by, what's going on? 2020 woke me up immediately. It was like, hey, you have purpose. You have a God-given purpose of service. Let's tap into that. Let's start looking at that right now. I've been leading you to this service your whole life. Like I said, they always told me this girl don't stop talking. She's such a great student. She's amazing, but she just doesn't stop talking. She's amazing. She gets good grades. She gets her stuff. She just won't shut up because I'm not supposed to, because I got something to say. Because God told me what to tell y'all, because ain't nobody talking to y'all. That's what it is. Y'all don't got no real people in your corner. You got these people who don't know that they're God in human form trying to tell you from a human perspective. No. M. Simone, you are the one. You're going to have to stand up. You're going to have to stand up, and you're going to have to put your big girl panties on, and you're going to have to walk with your head held high. That's a process. That was a process to go through. My GPS was telling me, hey, you're going to have to stand up. You're going to have to start speaking. You're going to have to put yourself out there. You're going to have to be vulnerable. You have to tell people your story. You're going to have to show up as if I am showing up through you. And it took me some time. I said, God, you sure? I mean, because I do want all these things, but I really want to do the work. He said, well, what were we talking about then? Because I do the work through you. If you don't want to initiate the work, how the work going to get done? Right? So I want you guys to understand that I'm no different from you. My awareness is just a little bit more expanded. I just know a little bit more than you consciously, right? I just have done a little bit more. That's it. I am looking right from the top, but I've been at the bottom. I've been down here, y'all. I don't want y'all to think that I'm above anything. I've been at the bottom. Didn't I tell y'all last year I sold my car? I left the relationship. I had no money. I was living with my parents. I had a whole baby to take care of. Like, I want you guys to understand, like, I'm not any different from you guys. I have just done the work, right? I was in the same exact position that you're in. If you're a mom and you're a business owner, you're trying to start a business. I restarted my business when my son came out. Baby was 2-3 months old. Monetized my social media, launched the ebook, created my signature program, relaunched my company. I did all that as a full-time mother with no help. Yeah, he sends a little monetary here and there. Yeah, he may pop up a little bit, But I want you guys to know that you can do it. Your children are your superpower. If I have any moms on here, this is for you. Your children are your superpower. I know it feels like they put a little dent in your delay or your plans. They feel like your dreams are on the back burner. But I want you to know that your children, right? The way that they measure success in children is not about 2-parent households. It's not about, whether there's a dad present. It's not about, whether the mom has a job or not. The way that they measure success in children is the mom's happiness. Your mental health matters more than you know. It's not just about you. It's about the people that you are raising and how they are going to affect the world. So you come first. I know this might be something you're like, I don't know about that. You come first. You come first. What you need comes first, because you cannot support your children. You cannot show up for your children if you are not showing up for yourself. Don't you all know when you get on the plane and they say, don't put your mask on before you put other people's mask on? Same exact concept. If you try to put your kid's mask on first and you don't have your mask on, what happens when you pass out? Now, nobody's getting their mask on, right? You have to help yourself first. I'm not telling you to put everything that you desire before your children. I'm not telling you to relinquish your responsibilities and just go willy-nilly. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, The identity of you being a mom is so powerful. You create life. Do you understand that? Like, you created a human, you baked that human for 10 months. Your GPS baked that human for 10 months. You birthed that human and you have kept that human alive since they got here. And you don't think you can run a business? You don't think that God has more in store for you? You don't think that your GPS is going to tell you what your purpose of service is and then give you the route to get there? Like, being a mom is a superpower. Babies have no sense of anxiety, doubt, worry, fear, none of that. They wake up joyful, happy, favored, prosperous. They just assume that life is great. They assume that people are good. They assume that mom's going to be there to feed them. Your children don't wake up and go, oh, I don't know if I'm going to eat today. I don't know if mom's going to be there. No, they know. They know, they know, they know. They just came from God. God told them, hey, everything you need is within you. And I'm gonna put you with one of my strongest soldiers, baby. I'm gonna put you with one of the top people on my roster to be your mama. Okay. But you have purpose and you have passion outside of your children. All I'm saying is your children are a catalyst to help you discover that and to help you uncover it. Okay. So, oh, it's 11:11. Y'all know I love angel numbers, and 11:11 is one of my favorites. 11:11 is one of my favorites. Okay. So if you have not been paying attention to the angel numbers, I want you to know that they're there. That 11:11, I want you to remember that you are becoming a new person today. You are stepping into your highest timeline today. Thank you for sharing the live, Jada. Hey, babe, how are you? You are stepping into your highest timeline today, right now. God has woken you up. He has expanded your awareness. He has brought the knowledge to the forefront. But again, you get to choose what route you take. You get to choose if you're actually going to follow through with what he just told you. You get to choose if you're going to make a detour. You get to choose if you turn the GPS off. Click, done. I don't even care. You have that option. It's up to you. Okay. So I just have a couple questions. And then if you guys have any other questions, please put them in the chat. Please put them, if you're on YouTube, you can put them on the chat there, but it's just a couple. And then we'll go into our last bit here and then we're gonna be good to go. Okay, so, and this is something I already kind of answered. How do I know what my purpose is, right? So I did say I was gonna come back to this. A way for you to start to determine, right, what your purpose is or what it is that you're here for is I want you to start to think about what it is you like. What do you like to do, right? How do you like to spend your time? If money was not a factor, if money had no factor, what would you be doing, right? If you had all the money in the world, you traveled the world, you had all the time, freedom, what would you be doing? What would you spend your life doing? I would teach this material no matter what. I don't care if I got paid another red cent. I would teach this. I'm going to teach this until I go back to meet God. I don't care how much money I make. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. That's not the point. That's not the purpose. That is not the service that I'm providing, right? Cooking. I love to cook. One of my passions, right? But this purpose right here, what I'm doing, teaching the word of God and spreading this and being able to be a light for you guys is what God called me to do. My whole life when I've been searching for success, I'm telling you guys, I've been searching for success my whole life. My parents used to tell me you need to be successful. Well, what does that mean? Do you have any steps? You got a blueprint? Like, I need to be successful. Great. Step 1. Oh, work hard, go to school. Is that true though? Is that true? Because I know a lot of billionaires. I read a lot of biographies about billionaires and school wasn't really right. But again, like I said earlier, we ask for advice or we get advice from people we have access to. They have the same level of awareness that we have. You have access to them, right? So I'm not saying that you shouldn't ask people for advice. I'm not saying that it's bad to. What I am saying is I want you to use your discernment. What is God trying to get me to take out of this conversation? The 2 hours that we've been together or that we're going to be together, what is it that God is trying to get you to take out of this conversation? For some people, it's what is my passion? What is my purpose? For Tessie, it might be it's time to really step up. It's time to really let these people go. It's time, baby. It's time. I spent 4 years going back to an ex, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And you know what? Vulnerability moment. God told me multiple times. He told me in the first 6 months of that relationship that that was not the relationship I should have been in. He told me. And I blatantly ignored him, blatantly ignored this man, ignored God. And you know what he did? He said, okay, okay, you don't want to listen to me. That's fine. This man that you're with, that you think is the love of your life, he's going to give you chlamydia. What? Mm-hmm. You're actually going to go to the doctor, get medicine for it. And he's going to give it to you again. What? But you're not listening to me. I still wasn't listening. Even after that, still wasn't listening. So you know what God did? You know what he said? He said, okay, here's herpes. Oh, you listening now. You hear me now. You hear what I'm saying now, though. Okay. Because I was talking to you. I was giving you the routes. I was telling you which route to take, but you have free will to choose, and you get to choose your experiences. And that experience for me was such an eye-opener, and it shifted a lot of things with me. It took me through a period of shame, of guilt, of all kind of stuff, right? But now it also gives me another avenue to be able to speak the word of God and to teach people, right? That doesn't stop anything. A herpes diagnosis doesn't stop your life. Your GPS is still programmed to get you to the life of your dreams. I still had my son vaginally at home. I didn't need no crazy interventions, right? I'm still very much so living my life, if you know what I mean. Now, not right now, because I'm not really, I'm focused on me, but it didn't stop anything. But what it did was it reminded me like, hey, if I'm telling you, if God is telling you what to do, if God is telling me what to do, I need to listen. God knows more than me. Just like that GPS, it knows more than me. God knows where the obstacles are ahead. God knows that you're about to run into some traffic. God knows that you're going to have to take a detour. But we have to listen. You got to listen, Tessie. You got to listen. And let me say this, you don't have to listen. Melissa, y'all don't have to listen. You don't have to. It's your free will again, right? But I would encourage you. God is telling you through me to listen. Okay. So when it comes to how to know what your purpose is, right? I want you guys to start to journal. What do you like to do? What are you passionate about? If money was not a factor, what would you be doing? I would teach this material regardless of if I got paid. It does not matter. The money is not why I'm doing this. The money is going to come absolutely because I'm providing service, but that's not why I'm doing it. Right? What do you like to do? What would you do if money wasn't a factor? Right? What did you want to be when you were a child? Like when I was a kid, imagination, I had so many things I wanted to do, baby. I wanted like, and let's be clear, I'm still gonna do them. I wanted to have a restaurant. I wanted to have a spa. I wanted to have a nonprofit. There were so many things that I wanted to do and so many things that God calls us to do as children. But what happens? Hi, love. Hi, babe. How are you? Hi, beautiful. What happens? Our parents start to tell, oh, you can't do that. How you gonna do that? You don't got no money. You don't have the resources. You don't know anybody. How? The how and the when is not your responsibility. If no one has told you, the how and the when is not your responsibility. That's God's responsibility. Your responsibility is to know what you want. Your responsibility is to say, hey, I want to open a restaurant and I want it to be a plant-based restaurant that does X, Y, and Z. How and when is God's responsibility. Your responsibility is to know what you want and to act on it. I know what I want. I want to build an empire. I want to have a hotel group. I want to have an airline company. I want to have a bank. I'm going to have the school of life. Like we, baby, God put a big calling on my heart, a very big calling. And I said, God, you sure you want me? Yeah, you the one. Moana, you're the chosen one. You're going to save your people. You're going to change the destiny of the whole of your entire family, of your entire country, and of the world. You're going to do that, M. Simone. That's what I'm telling you to do. That's how your GPS is programmed, and you're going to follow it and you're going to listen. Okay. So sit with yourself. Take some awareness walks, no music, no noise. Go outside. God is always talking to you, but if you got so much chatter, you're not going to be able to hear him. If you got so many things going on, you're listening to so many outside forces, you're listening to music, you're listening to, you have to sit in silence to hear. I'm telling you, that's how they be. You have to sit in silence. You have to sit with yourself. God is always right. God is always with you. God will never leave you. God is always speaking to you. He's speaking to you right now. Are you on your phone typing? Are you distracted by something else? Because you're not going to hear him. Okay? So now Melissa said something. Hold on one second. I'm listening because God knew he needed me and did that. I'm trying to tell you. Like, I'm listening because God knew he needed to reach me, and he did that through you. God speaks to us through others. Everything that I'm saying right now is God speaking through me to you. Your job is to have discernment and to figure out what you need to take. Everything that I say might not be for you. Just like old girl that I had to mute earlier. Everything that I said wasn't for her. She wasn't ready for it. You're not ready. You're not ready. And that's okay. That's okay. If you're not ready, that's okay. Right? But I'm going to plant the seed regardless. I'm a gardener. I plant seeds. Tessie, I planted a lot of seeds for you today. Melissa, you got some seeds. Saudia's got some seeds. Jeff has some seeds. Like, these seeds are being planted, right? And if you follow your GPS, if you follow the seeds, if you follow what's being said and listen to your inner, that intuition, listen to your inner voice, it will bring you exactly where you're needed, where you need to be. Everything that you want is here. It already exists. The money you want, the relationships, the business, the car, the health, the spirituality, it all exists. Everything is here. Creation is done. God created the heavens and the earth, everything in between, and it's done. Everything you want already exists. What you want to do is you want to discover how to uncover it. How can I actually tap into it? How can I manifest it? How can I make the invisible visible, right? And that's what we do. Okay, so I do have two more questions. So how do I make sure my GPS is programmed properly, right? So this is a really, really great question. He used the girl you look and okay, so hold on. So Melissa said the enemy tries to come in every way you know. He used that girl you muted, period. Like, cause she was coming in trying to, oh, that's not true. That's not true. There's not an if. Okay, Tiger. You got it, big dog. That's not true. You got it. You got it. You got it. Okay, you have it. My bad. Right? You're not for me, and that's okay. I'm not for you, and that's okay. I'm not for everybody. She wasn't ready. I'm not for everybody. It's a lot of people that are in my energy that have been in my energy for 4 years and are now ready. Okay, I'm not ready for I'm not for everybody, and that's okay. I don't want to be. I want to be for God's children, the chosen ones, the ones that know, oh, I'm supposed to do something big. I'm supposed to make something happen. Like, it's no way God's going to use my life just to be mediocre and just to pass on by. No, I'm here to make a difference. Okay, so. Oh, but the question was, how do I make sure my GPS is programmed properly, right? So there's two pieces to this, right? The one piece is your GPS is programmed right now, whether you know it or not, to take you to the life of your dreams. That's number one. But when we talk about being programmed properly, you have to know what the life of your dreams is, right? God's part is to have your being operate to get you to where you want to go, but you need to know where you want to go. Where do you want to go? What are you going to ask God for? God is all and God is everything. He will give you whatever you ask for. Remember, we talked about that earlier. Oh, I've been asking God for more money. No, you haven't. You're talking about how you can't afford to pay your bills. That's the prayer that he answered, maybe. That feeling that you have, he don't respond to words. He responds to vibes, vibrations, frequencies, energy, feelings. If you feel like you don't have any money, it don't matter what you're saying. If you feel like, you never have enough, it doesn't matter what you're saying. It's the feeling, right? So when it comes to energy is everything. Everything is energy. You better tell them, Jess. When it comes to your GPS being programmed properly, what do you want, right? Is it money? Is it success? Is it business? Is it health? Is it relationships? What do you want? What is your dream life? God didn't program us for us to go to work every day to a job we hate, sit in traffic, be yelled at and screamed out by the kids, be making dinner, and then try to at least muster up a little courage to be with our partners. God didn't make us like that. He didn't make us to be out here stressed and worrying and struggling and all of that. That's not what we're supposed to be here for. But we have to know what we want. I know what my dream life looks like, but I've taken the time to figure that out, right? So that's another thing when it comes to figuring out your purpose, when it comes to figuring out what your dream life is, you're going to have to ask yourself some questions. You're going to have to write down some things. You're going to have to sit with yourself, right? Because you can have whatever you want, but you have to know what it is you want. So when you say, how do I make sure my GPS is programmed properly? First, you want to be aware. That's what this event is for. This is the self-awareness piece. The manifestation process that I take my students through is 6 steps. The first step is self-awareness. You have to be aware. You cannot change anything you don't know about. My favorite quote, you cannot escape a prison if you do not know you're in one. You cannot escape a prison if you do not know you're in one. You cannot get on the road to the life of your dreams if you don't even know how your GPS is programmed. If you don't even know you have a GPS, right? So this is the first step. But the next step, right, is to understand that you are God in human form. Okay. So we go from self-awareness and we go to spirit. You are God in human form right now, immediately today. God created you in his image. You and your father are one. Y'all are soulmates. You cannot be separated. When you know that, and when you're coming from that perspective, you're coming from God's perspective. Now, if God is all there is, God is creating a dream life, baby, God wants it all. I want my food from Whole Foods. I want a Maserati. I want somebody to come clean my house twice a week. I would like to travel more than once a year. Right? But the first step is the self-awareness. And that's what we're working on. That's what we're uncovering right now. Being aware of ourselves, being aware of our oneness with spirit, being aware of our GPS. Okay. And we all have this blood in us, period. Okay. And then the last question was, how can I learn from you, or how can I be mentored or learn from you? So this is a great question, right? And this is kind of like a caveat into what we're talking about, right? So 2 things. One, follow me on social media, right? So if you're not on my social media, my TikTok is M. Simone Influence. I think Instagram is M. Simone Influence. Facebook is M. Simone Manifest. I think my YouTube is M. Simone Influence. If you're not following me on social medias, that's the first thing that I would advise you to do, right? Just follow me on social media. Make sure you're in the algorithm, because what'll happen is, again, your GPS, because this is what this is about. You have attended this event. You found me somehow. Your GPS is ready. It's let's go. Let's get it popping. Let's do it, right? That's what your GPS is doing right now. But again, you have to take the step. You have to choose the route that you want to take. So your GPS is showing you right now, 6 minutes faster. Do you want to go? This is a faster route. Do you want to go? You have to choose this route. You have to choose to step into your God power. Okay. So follow me on social media. But the other piece of that is, I do believe that there is value in mentorship. I believe that there is value in learning from somebody who has done what it is you want to do. I believe that there is value in learning from someone who you feel, intuitively. I'm not talking about the words that I'm saying, because people can say a lot, but the feeling, you guys have a certain feeling when I'm speaking. Okay, listen, I popped up on my TikTok. I'll follow you back to love. You guys have, God says, ask and you shall receive. And that is exactly what manifesting is: asking and believing that what you have asked for is already yours. Absolutely. And that's what I'm teaching you guys. That's what I teach you. Everything you want is already there. And that's why I said, when in the promo or the content that I made for this event, I said, you are already programmed right now, today, you are already programmed on the route to the life of your dreams, period. End of conversation. You are already programmed right now. The only reason that it doesn't feel like it is because you don't know that, right? And your perspective is looking at all the things that are not going well in your life, okay? I want to bring you back to the focus of what is going well, right? And what is actually working for you. Because the more that you focus on the good, the more good you're going to find. I had $12.61 in my account one day, y'all. You would have thought I had $12,000. I had everything that I needed and everything that I wanted. I was able to get groceries to make a meal, and I got an icy for $12.61. It's not about what you have. It's about the feeling that you or the feeling that you're in when you use it. It's about what it means to you. It wasn't about the value of the $12.61. It was that God gave me exactly what I needed in that moment to have what I needed, groceries, literally, and what I wanted, an icy. I had 3 meals that I made out of them groceries. That $12.61. Okay, but it's a perspective, right? It's a way that you're looking at it. It's looking at it from God's perspective, right? That's how I look at things. So when it comes to mentorship, or when it comes to learning from me, right? The Great School of Life is it used to be Mindful Success Methods. So that was my company for the first 4 years, Mindful Success Methods, right? And it was about successful methods using your mind, how to create success from your mind. And although that is true, that is what I do, that is what I teach, the Great School of Life is more spot on as to what we're doing, because it is a school, but it's a school about life, right? And I did create this acronym for life because I think it's really important, right? But life is living in spirit. So in spirit is one word, like inspired, living in spirit for eternity. That's what we teach you how to do at the Great School of Life. We teach you how to live from God's perspective for the rest of your existence, right? To see yourself as God in human form, to see yourself as a vessel that God wants to express himself through, and to show you how to create the vessel for him to express himself, right? God is only going to express himself as much as you allow him to. If you ask him for an apartment, on the 3rd floor, he's going to provide that to you. If you ask him for a $400,000 house, that's what he's going to provide to you. But it's about the consciousness that you're in. And we didn't really talk about consciousness too much in this event, but that is what the Great School of Life teaches you. It teaches you how to embody the Christ consciousness. Okay. So when it comes to mentorship, right, or when it comes to moving forward, right, the Great School of Life, the first program of study is Thinking from the End. Okay. So Thinking from the End is a 24-week course. It's a God-centered, conscious, and intentional faith-based manifestation program. I want to be very clear. God-centered. We focus on God. Okay. We're not coming from, I don't even know where people come from, but we're coming from God's perspective. I want you to know that God is the reason for it all, and God is the forefront. So we're going to start with God, right? So it's God-centered, but I want you to be intentional, right? I want you to be intentional about your GPS. What is your dream life? I want you to intentionally create it. I don't want you to pull out what you think other people want. You look in a magazine, you flip through, oh, well, let me get this. No, I want you to intentionally know and create what it is that you want. Your GPS is already programmed. What life is it taking you to? Right? And then once we actually determine what that new life is, we're going to embody it. We're going to become that person. If you tell me you want to grow your business, if you tell me you want more money in your experience, if you tell me you want better relationships, if you tell me you want to get closer to, your spirituality, right? If you tell me that's what you want, at some point in our time together, you're going to actually just have to be that person. You're going to have to just embody that version of yourself. If the version of yourself that you want to be takes a trip every 3 months, and you have the money in your account right now to book that flight, and you don't book it, are you really embodying that version of you? Are you really going to be this person? Do you really want this life? Right? So the way that the Thinking from the End program works, like I said, is 24 weeks. We have 3 pillars that we go through. We start with who am I, which is the self-awareness. We've done a little bit of self-awareness today, but we'll spend 8 weeks on self-awareness and spirit. I want you to be clear about who you believe yourself to be today, but I also want you to be clear on who you actually are. Okay. Then we're going to go into the who I desire to be pillar. Once you know who you are, and once you know that you are spirit, literally God in human form, then we're going to do the intentional, okay, well, what type of life do I want to live? Right? What type of relationship do I want? What type of shoes because the sky, the limit does not exist. You can have whatever you want, but you need to know what it is. Okay. And then once you just determine who you desire to be, what that life actually looks like, then we go into pillar 3, and that's the being pillar. You are going to be this version of you. We're not gonna sit around and say, oh, well, yeah, I'll start tomorrow. No, we're gonna start today. We are going to be this version. Me showing up on live, me showing up and being vulnerable and telling my story and having these events. This is me being M. Simone the millionaire. This is me being her. Otherwise, I would be somewhere fiddling with my thumbs, right? But that's not going to get us transformation. Okay. So it's a 24-week course that you have access to, lifetime access. As long as you're, once you become a student of the Great School of Life, you are always in the family. So you'll always have access to the course. You will have a comprehensive workbook that you will take with you as well. But one of the most important things, you also have weekly sessions with me, right? So each week on Monday, we have a live session. So I'm either expanding on the lesson of that week or I'm teaching something new, right? We have that every week for 24 weeks. So you'll have the course that you do on your own. You'll have the workbook that goes with that. But then each week we will have a live lesson, right? You can ask questions. You can get clarity on some things. We can really just make sure that you're clear about what it is that you're getting out of that week. But the most important piece of the Thinking from the End program in the Great School of Life is the community. I told you guys earlier that a lot of us ask people that we have access to for advice. We ask people that we have access to, and they are going to give us their opinion. That's based on their experiences. It's not fact. So what the Great School of Life does is it gives you a community of people who are also in this material. How much easier would it be to stay in the flow when you have somebody who is also in the flow with you? They're like, hey, come on, I know it's getting tough. I know it's getting difficult, but remember why we did this. Versus going home and you're trying to, you're around all of these people who are still representing the old version of you. And they can suck you in very quickly, very easily. You listen to M. Simone, you're on the session with us, and then you go back to your house and it's just like a whirlwind of who you used to be. I want you to have a community of people who see you for who you truly are and who are committed to moving you forward, right? So that's what the private community does. It gives you a place to ask questions, to network, to build relationships. 2025 is about collaboration, right? I want you guys to have a group of people to collaborate with who are also in this material. So when you tell them that you want to make $1 million a month, they're not looking at you like that's impossible. They're like, oh, girl, you got that, right? That is so important, the network that you have, right? So again, you have Thinking from the End. It's a 24-week course. You have the actual 24 lessons. You'll have a workbook. Those you have lifetime access to. You then have 24 live mentorship sessions with me, where we'll go over the either a new lesson, the lesson for the week, ask any questions, and just give you more value. And then you have the lifetime access to the community, right? The family, the friends, the network, the business individuals, the organizations that you are going to be partnering with, who have the same vision, who see the same growth, who have the same mindset, right? So that's all together. So the tuition for the Thinking from the End program, the in full tuition is $10,000. That's US. That's in full. We do have payment plans though. So for people who want to enroll, see the value, but don't have the 10,000 upfront, you can do a payment plan. I think the deposit is 4,000, and then it's 2,000 every month for 4 months, right? But if that doesn't work for you either, please reach out to me. I want to make sure that anybody and everybody that sees the value in investing in themselves, that sees the value of using their GPS to uncover their purpose of service, actually has an avenue to do so. Okay. So reach out to me. Like I said, if what's on the site does not work for you, and you'll have the link to it. It's in my bio, but let me put it in here real quick. The link for Thinking from the End. I want you to, you can go to the site. If you do not see an option that works for you, reach out to me, please. Like, do not just count yourself out, because what I do know for sure is once you make the decision, the money will come every single time. Every single time you make a decision to do something, the money comes. What gets us stopped up is we want to make the decision based on if the money's coming. Oh, well, I'll enroll when I get the money. Oh, I'll do this when something happens in the future, right? But the decision to do something always precedes finding the resources. God will help you find the resources when you tell him and when you decide that this is what you want to do. Can you turn that off and then like put him in your ear? Like, I'm sorry, let me get my face together. But yeah, now what was I'm sorry. Okay. Decision. Yes. So make the decision. Let's create the plan of how we're going to make it happen and go from there. Okay. God answers every single prayer and God will give you whatever it is you need to be successful, but you have to ask him and you have to make the decision. Okay. So make the decision. Let's find the resources to get you in and let's make this happen. 2025 is the best year of your life. You have to decide that though. Your GPS will take you on the road of your dreams or the route to your dreams, but you have to decide that. You have to choose to make a change. You have to choose to do something different. Oh, you're good, girl. Yeah, so I was just really going over everything. Tessie, reach out to me though. Send me a DM because I will have the replay on YouTube for this. But send me a DM. And then I'll reach back out to you once I get off of here. If you guys have any other questions, please reach out to me. But again, this was GPS, okay? Your God-given purpose of service. What I want you guys to take from this event is that God created you with a guidance system. God created you with everything you need to be successful right now. So the only thing that you need to do is become aware of your guidance system, right? Understand how it works and to program it for your dream life. It's already programmed to take you on the road to your dream life. That's how you found this event. But you have to decide what your dream life is. God doesn't decide that for you. You get to choose. You choose what your dream life is. And then for everyone who is looking to further their education, who's furthering their mentorship, or who wants to learn from me more closely, the Thinking from the End program enrollment has started. I will drop the link in the Zoom chat. If you're on TikTok, the link is in my bio. So if you click my bio, you'll see Thinking from the End. Click that link and it'll take you to the enrollment page. Again, there is a paid in full option and there's also a payment plan option. If neither of those options work for you, do not count yourself out. Do not click the X and go back to living your regular life because your GPS is always going to reroute you. So let's get on the route now, right? Reach out to me and let's see if we can create a plan that works for you. All right. I love you all. Thank you so much for joining. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please reach out to me. I'm very friendly. Okay. I love to talk, as you can tell, as I've told you 17 times on this event. So reach out to me and let me know how I can assist you, how I can move you forward. Absolutely. And I love it. I love everybody who I got to interact with today, all of my new followers. God absolutely rerouted you. And that's what I'm saying. Reach out to me, Tessie. Like if you go to my site and something's not clear or whatever it is, reach out to me so we can figure out what works best for you. Because again, closed mouths don't get fed and closed hands don't get bread. If you don't ask me, if you don't ask God, we can't make it happen, right? So just ask. The worst thing that we could say is no. And then you go on about your business and you find another route, right? But ask first, so let's find a route for you, okay? Closed mouths don't get fed, closed fists don't get bread. And Simone said that, okay? But I love you all. Kisses. I'll see you guys soon. I will not have an event next week. It'll probably be the week after. I think I'm going to do every 2 weeks now. Last year I was doing every week, but I am my dream life is rest and relaxation. My dream life is not working every single day and doing events over and over again. That's not my dream life. So yeah, I am maneuvering it. But I love you all. The replay will be on YouTube. And if you have any other questions, please reach out to me. But I'll see you guys in the school. I'll see you on social media.